Today we'll be taking you through the push-up fundamental. I'm Jesse with the Movement Athlete, and today we'll be going over 9 different progressions that parallel what we have in the Movement Athlete app. Each of these progressions should be mastered to a particular rep scheme before advancing to the next one. In our app, we feature skill, strength, muscle, and endurance work to help aid your strength and development. The push-up progressions that we'll be featuring today will revolve around the strength components in the progressions. Skill work revolves around cueing and detail work for these progressions. Strength will be the progressive overload of how we intensify it or measure if you're getting stronger. Muscle work will be at a lower intensity to get a good muscle pump. And endurance work is to increase the length of time you can hold a skill or the amount of reps that you can do. The 9 progressions that we'll be going over today will be from the strength side for the progressions of the push-up. So in our video today, we won't be getting into the weeds and the nitty-gritty of all the specific details of the push-up because we've already defined what that is in our perfect push-up video, but rather watch that first and you can apply those bullet points into our progressions for you here today. So just ahead, watch Blake demonstrate each of the 9 progressions of how you can go from the wall push-up and end up at the regular standard push-up on the ground. We hope that you find these progressions motivating for yourself because even if you can't do a push-up yet, we're gonna start at a wall with very little body weight in the push-up and go through each progression until we finish in the actual push-up. So we hope that you find this motivating if you wanna learn the push-up because we'll start off really easy. The first progression will be the wall push-up. To start this, start facing the wall. Place your hands on the wall, about shoulder width, maybe slightly wider then. Take a step back, straighten your body out, and perform the push-up as we prescribed in the technique video. So you'll be lowering down where your face is right up close to the wall, and then press back out to a lock arm position and repeat for the desired amount of reps. The second progression are the knee push-ups. To start this, you'll start in the kneel position. Move your hands forward so you're in the dog position. You want to protract the shoulders, which will make your chest a little bit rounded. You'll keep your hips straight and in front of the knees and perform the push-up as prescribed earlier. So lowering down to where your chest is right above the floor and then locking back out again. The third progression will be the knee wide push-up, which will mimic the technique that we just used for the knee push-up, but will be 2 feet wide with the hands. So start off in the kneel or dog position, move the hands 2 feet wide, and repeat the technique from before, ensuring that the elbows do not go out to the side, but rather more in the 30 to 45 degree angle. Finish the lockout on return. The fourth progression is the knee diamond push-up. So to do this, get into the kneel position, then the dog position and move the hands close together where the index finger and thumbs are touching, and then perform the push-up here. So lowering where the chest touches the hands and then lock back out at the top again, making sure to keep the hips in a straight line rather than piked. The fifth progression is the incline push-up. So you'll want to find yourself an elevated surface like a box or a bench. And this is essentially the wall push-up, but with more intensity because we'll be lower in this angle. So body is straight, hands are at the top of the box or bench, whatever the surface is. Keep the core tight and repeat the prescribed technique on how to do the push-up, finishing with a lockout at the top. The sixth progression is the half push-up. So this is where we first and finally start to move to the floor itself. So we'll be in the straight arm plank position to start and only doing half of the range of motion here to the 90 degree mark and then returning back to the top. So here's where the technique changes in the range of motion side of things, but it's just half the range and returning back to the top. The seventh progression is the wide half push-up. So we'll be starting off in that straight arm plank position, move the hands wider to about 2 feet, and then lower down to the 90 degree mark, and then return back out with a lockout. Ensure that the elbows track backwards to that 30 to 45 degree line. You do not want the elbows flaring out. It's really easy to do in the wide push-up. The 8th progression will be the diamond half push-up, starting off in a plank position with the index fingers and thumbs touching and only going through half of the range of motion to that 90-degree range and returning back to the top with a lockout. And then 9th up, that'll take us to the regular standard push-up on the ground, full range of motion, and that slightly wider than shoulder width grip. So this will follow exactly what the technique is in our perfect push-up video, and it's the full range of motion with that standard grip and keeping the body completely straight. So as we mentioned, this parallels the strength progressions that we have in the Movement Athlete app for when learning the push-up. So if you want to get more information and more subcomponents to it that'll address endurance and skill work, download the app and you can check it out there. Stay tuned for our other videos regarding the push-up. We've got advanced variations and advanced workouts. We've got mistakes to watch out for. We've got a perfect push-up video if you haven't seen that yet. And if you haven't already done so, go to themovementathlete.com to take the free assessment. That way we can try to personalize and individualize your training, and we'll provide 3 free individualized workouts. So make sure you do that and stay tuned for our other upcoming videos. Thank you. So how strong are you? Calisthenics is the ultimate in bodyweight training because it's fun, challenging, and rewarding, but it's also difficult to know where to start in the whole process. So that's why we created a free calisthenics fitness assessment. And what this will do is it'll help you find out exactly where you are in your pathway of calisthenics mastery. It'll help create personalized workouts for you. It'll help you achieve your goals faster. So we want everyone to have access to this regardless of their budget and location. So as long as you have internet, you'll be able to take control of your fitness program. So click below for the free assessment tool.